Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Albums and Memories, where I look through two albums I have at a time, and in my collection I talk about the memories they gave me. Now today we're going to look at major studio debut albums from two artists I really like, Radiohead and Pablo Honey, and Jully Black, and This Is Me. Two albums which I don't listen to that much, to be perfectly honest, compared to the other works I have by them, and I have all their studio albums so far. Um, I don't really go back to listen to these two, and I'll start with Radiohead's Pablo Honey first. Now, uh, I'm gonna be honest. This is as of right now, as of this recording right now, A Moon Shaped Pool is the latest Radiohead album I have by them, and this is the last album I ever bought. No, the last album in their discography I ever bought. Like, I was pretty reluctant, but I just bought this album just because I wanted to say, hey, I have every Radiohead album. And I'll be honest, I've only listened to this twice, and I barely know any other song except, of course, "Creep." And I know a lot of people actually kept saying, "Oh, anyone can play guitar is really good," but the song which I really come back to, surprisingly enough, is "Ripcord." For some reason, I can come back to Like, when I heard "Ripcord" for the first time, I'm like, oh my god, I really like this album. Not this album, this song. I really enjoy this song. It's actually a really damn good song because it's actually really fast paced. It goes along really quickly. And other than Creep and Ripcord, I don't have much memories of this album, to be perfectly honest. Again, I've only listened to this like twice. I've only listened to this album twice, or twice or three times. And though, like, I tried with this album, but I just couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't like listen to it all the way through because, like, compared to the rest of the discography, um, eh, I don't know. Like, I I listened to this while I was playing. I don't know what I was playing because this doesn't really give me much memories. Because honestly, like, oh, I actually have one memory of the day before. Like, I bought another album by Radiohead, and I'm like, I'll get to that later. But I was like, okay, I have this album now. All I have to do is buy their like. I was at HMV one time, and I bought their the second last album I would have before I would buy this one, and I'm like, and they're like, okay, like, I'm trying to find this particular album by Radiohead words, and I was like, oh, okay. So he just goes down on the shelf, he finds it, takes it out, gives it to me. I'm like, okay, perfect. Now all I need is to buy this album, and the employee is like, well, their debut album is right there. I can see it right there, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but and we both just laughed. And I'm like, okay, he probably is a Radiohead because he heard like the things about it. Like, here's the thing, it's not this isn't a bad album. It's not. It's generally not a bad album. I It's just that compared to their other albums, especially compared to like the next album, The Bends, it's like, yeah, there's a reason why I bought this last, and this is like, I know this is vindicated by history in terms of like Radiohead fans, but even Radiohead fans are like, like, really compared to their other albums, this is okay. Like, the reason why I don't listen to this much is because it's pretty much the same reason why I bought their Red Hot Chili Peppers first albums last, because their later material is a lot better and they grew out of that. And in terms of like, Radiohead didn't really go like above the curve. These guys just followed. These guys kind of followed the trend, and it stuck with it. Like, the only, like, hell, actually, you know what? The reason I know about Creep is because of Rock Band. Well, not Rock Band. Well, here's the thing. In terms of this, uh, Creep actually was the late. Like, I didn't hear of Creep until like 2 years later. Like, I said that I heard just like the song "Just" was the very first song I ever heard by Radiohead, and then a couple years later I heard of Creep. Not a couple years. A year later I heard about the song Creep, and I was like, okay, this is actually really good. I listened to it a couple of more times each day, and I'm like, why did? And I find out that Radiohead doesn't even like the song. I'm like, why doesn't Radiohead like the song? And then my dad got my sister Rock Band for PS2, and they found the song, and I'm like, oh, oh, I can see why they don't like the song. And thankfully, I listened to other songs by them even before then. So I'm like, okay, well, they know about like Creep. They just don't know about anything else. They don't know about any other song. And yeah, like I said before, I have every single one of their albums. Yeah, I have like every single one of their albums. So this is the album I come back to the least. I don't have many memories of this, so yeah, that's pretty surprising considering I'm a Radiohead fan. And this is what the let me see. There's this. There is OK Computer. Damn, this is the second Radiohead song I talked about for the show. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. And the next album I have, or I'm gonna talk about, is Jully Black's first studio album, which is This Is Me. Uh, an album which I don't listen to, and honestly, this has a special place in my heart because this is the first album I ever bought. I was in grade 9. Now, the reason why I bought this album is because I remember, like, the song "Sweat Off Your Brow" back in 2005. 2005, yeah, 2005, and I was like, okay, I love this song, and if I can listen to this song at least one day in a like every day for a month on the radio, I'll buy this album, and I thankfully did. And so I saved up money uh, because when I used to go to Saturday school, my mom used to give me $2 for lunch, and I never spent a penny of it. I just like saved it and I ate at home. So yeah, school was from 10 a.m. to around 2:30. I'm like, okay, this is fine. And like looking back, only 4 hours? A 4 hour school, huh? What do you know? Okay, so yeah, I didn't spend a dime. I just wanted to get like money to get this particular album. Like yes, and so the day came, and after like a couple of months, maybe 3 months of like not spending anything, I'm like, hey mom, can we go to the mall and get this album? And I remember it's like this was $9.99. It's like, oh, this is $11. Like, oh crap. And so I actually had to go to my mom to get 50 more cents. I'm like, yeah. She gave it to me. I actually didn't even have to look for her that far. Like, okay, uh, I was just looking around and like, hey, mom, do you have 50 cents? She's like, give it to me. And I bought this album. I'm like, yes, I got this. This is my favorite album. Not favorite. This is the first album I ever owned. With the help of my mom, this is the first album I ever owned. And this has a special place in my heart. I don't listen to this much because, like, I like her other albums compared. Like, I'm gonna talk about her other two albums because I like those a little bit more. But this one has a 16-track album, which I do actually like a little, not too much, but I do like. I'm okay. The reason why I actually bought this album is because of Sweat Off Your Brow, and actually I ended up really liking Stay of the Night and 5X Love, 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 love. I think we're looking at you. I don't know the song that much because again I barely listened to this album. But yeah, I remember like getting through this not well, mostly because like again, first album I ever bought, and up to this point I had this album, the 8 Mile soundtrack, and another couple of albums which I'm looking at right now. The next two albums, well, I'll get to that. But those are the up to this. This was the newest album I had, and this was 2005. And I remember listening to this while I was playing someone's schoolmate's copy of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I was like, oh, this doesn't fit the atmosphere. But then again, and like as I said in the future, like I said in other videos, like I listen to music that doesn't even fit video games. So what back then it's like really hilarious just to be like, hey, I don't like this. I don't like how this actually is. playing with this violent game, this R&B CD, playing with this game, and yeah, I remember like I remember being very proud of just purchasing a CD. I remember just being very very scared because I'm like, oh my god, what? This is like stealing, but I just really want to buy this album. I mean, I have money, but this is. I feel like I'm stealing this album. And yeah, I just played this for like a few more times until like what 5 or 6 more times, and then I bought another album, which I will eventually get to. It's not anywhere in here, but it's on the shelf here, so I'll get to it. And yeah, again, haven't listened to this since what her second album came out. So, and that was like a couple years later. She only has 3 albums, but I really want her to like put out more so I can actually like buy it and listen to it constantly, or just have a session where I would listen to her albums, all of her albums in a row. I can do that one day, but until then, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. Like her third album came out when I was in college, what 2009, but we'll get to that album later. And so yeah, uh, for a debut, it's a little long, but yeah. And for Radiohead's Pablo Honey debut, not much memorable cuts. I don't remember anyone can play guitar. I just know Creep, obviously, and Ripcord, which is my favorite song. And so that's another episode of Albums and Memories, and I will see you another time. Thank you.